Jackass.
Hi, guys. Donkey of the Day for Monday, August 4th goes to President Donald J. Trump. Now, if you haven't heard, I was on Lara Trump's show, My View, on Fox this past weekend. Drop one of clues bombs for Lara Trump. She's been a guest on Breakfast Club before, so I had no problem showing up to her program. You know, I'm one of those silly rabbits who still believes in the First Amendment. Okay, freedom of speech. I don't have to agree with what you're saying, but we should all agree that you have the right to say it. Thankfully, Laura is a Trump who still believes in freedom of speech because her father-in-law, the 47th president of the United States of America, did not take too kindly to some things I had to say. Now, I'm going to play you a couple of parts of the conversation. Let's play when she asked me, what do I think of President Trump's second term so far? I wouldn't give it a good rating. You know,
Why not?
Simply because, you know, the least of us are still being impacted the worst. Like when you look at something like, you know, the big beautiful bill, that's something that, you know, I'm going to benefit from because of the tax bracket that I'm in. But, you know, there's going to be so many people that's hurt by that bill. And, you know, anything that, you know, takes away Medicaid from people and is going to put people in a worse financial situation than, you know, they were previously in, I'm not for it. I mean, where is the lie? Trump's big, beautiful bill is going to make the rich richer and the poor poorer, okay? Cuts all the safety net programs, the Medicaid, the food stamps, the housing assistance. Millions of people will lose health care. Groceries will still be through the roof. Rent support will be through the roof. There's no relief for people who are already hurting, okay? I know I'm not supposed to care because this bill helps the rich, all right? The bill has all these corporate loopholes and capital gain breaks that benefit the 1%, but I know how I was raised. Okay, on a dirt road in Mounts Corner, South Carolina. Dropping the clues bombs from Mounts Corner, all right? So I'm going to always have imposter syndrome when it comes to finances. My mind is always on the have-nots, and this big, beautiful bill hurts the have-nots, okay? Like I said, the rich will get richer while the poor will be forced to work more for less, okay? They'll have to work more for less support because they have work requirements for aid that make it harder for the poor to qualify for help. I know I'm not supposed to care because I'll benefit from the income taxes, but you got everyday items like gas and groceries, electricity. They'll be more expensive for everybody else. So Americans making low incomes will have to pay a bigger share of their income to make ends meet. And President Trump, must I remind you that you said you won the election because of one word, groceries. Do we have that?
And I went on groceries. It's a very simple word, groceries. Like almost, you know, who uses the word? I started using the word, the groceries. When you buy apples, when you buy bacon, when you buy eggs, they would double and triple the price over a short period of time. And I won an election based on that.
People's groceries are still too high. You have not lowered the cost. Okay, the other issue I said on My View with Lara's Trump is I believe traditional conservatives are quietly staging a political coup to take their party back from MAGA. I explained this to y'all a couple of weeks ago in detail, but let's listen to what I said on My View. Oh, we don't have that one? Well, I can explain it. Oh, we have it? Okay. I think that traditional conservatives are going to take the Republican Party back. I think there's a political coup going on right now in the Republican Party that people aren't paying legislation and paying attention to.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think that this Epstein thing is going to be a way for traditional conservatives to take their party back. I really do. I think that they know this is the issue that has gotten the base riled up. The MAGA base isn't letting this issue go. And for the first time, they know they can, you know, probably take their party back and not piss off the MAGA base. I think they're going to do that. Just a conspiracy theory I have. MAGA, y'all like a good conspiracy, all right? I mean, based on J.D. Vance allegedly visiting Rupert Murdoch in Montana, that was the same week Trump's letter to Epstein was published by Rupert Murdoch in the Wall Street Journal. And then this, you know, about a week later, Mike Johnson shut the House down to avoid a vote on releasing the Epstein files. And then the Wall Street Journal came out and said Trump knew he had been in the Epstein files since May. And I just look at how the MAGA base has responded to the Epstein issue. It just feels like traditional conservatives who lost the party to Trump could use this opportunity to get it back because the MAGA base wouldn't be upset at all if they impeached Trump and voted to remove him because he's in the Epstein files. I'm just saying, President Trump, watch your back, okay, between Elon Musk, Rupert Murdoch, and you need to watch your Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, and your VP, J.D. Vance, too. I'm just saying, okay? But anyway, Trump didn't like any of that, so he replied with a long-ass post on Truth Social. Lauren LaRosa, are you sober enough to read it?
I'm good.
Let's listen.
The very wonderful and talented Lara Trump, whose show is a big rating success, put racist sleazebag Charlamagne the God Why is he allowed to use the word God when describing himself? Can anyone imagine the uproar there would be if I used that nickname?
Go study your lessons.
He's a low IQ individual, has no idea what words are coming out of his mouth, and knows nothing about me or what I've done. Like just ending 5 wars, including a 31-year bloodbath between Republic of the Congo and Rwanda, where 7 million people have died, and there was no end in sight. He did not know that. He did not know that, or India and Pakistan, or wiping out Iran's nuclear capabilities, or closing the horrendous open border, or creating the greatest economy where prices and inflation have come way down, and where stupid and corrupt Joe Biden set the record for doing the worst job as president ever. But this dope Charlamagne would vote for Sleepy Joe or Kamala? ? Remember, 1 year ago, our country was dead, and now it's the hottest, and he capitalized hottest, country anywhere in the world. MAGA.
Now, the personal insults, I don't care. He called me a sleazebag. I looked up the definition of sleazebag. Says it's a disgusting or despicable person. Depending on who you ask, that may apply to me. Okay, I personally prefer friendly neighborhood a-hole. Okay, he said I'm a low IQ individual. I don't know. I've never taken an IQ test. He said I have no idea what words are coming out of my mouth. Absolutely true. Okay, I've been surprising myself my whole life. Like, damn, I actually said that? Now, let's get to your claims. He said, I don't know anything about him ending 5 wars. Mr. President, nobody knew that because it's not true. All right, there is zero evidence, nothing credible whatsoever that says President Trump played any role in ending the ongoing, keyword, ongoing conflict in the eastern DRC or in Rwanda. Okay, America has not brokered any major peace deal between the DRC and Rwanda during Trump's second term. And wiping out Iran's nuclear capabilities, you did pull off a significant strike, but it didn't eliminate Iran's nuclear capabilities. Saying you wiped it out is an overstatement because according to reports, no enrichment facility was destroyed and Iran's nuclear threat is still very active, and some experts argue it's more dangerous now due to a lack of international oversight and the increased beef with Israel and the USA. Now, you also claim the borders were closed. Not closed, but you have tightened immigration policies and increased enforcement. You have definitely made the border harder to cross, but saying it's closed is false and ignores everyone coming over seeking legal asylum. By the way, I want border security. I just want you to keep your promise of deporting illegals and criminals. But since Homeland Security started to work to deport more people, okay, immigrants with legal status or no criminal history are being detained and deported too. That's not right. Okay, your family is always in fear.
Who family you talking about?
Okay, all right, listen. My fellow Americans, listen, my fellow Americans, we are in a strange time right now. A time we have never seen because authoritarian strategy is being used against anyone who speaks out against this administration. We saw what happened Friday. President Trump orders, the firing of labor statistic chief after data shows unemployment rates are higher. I don't know if you know President Trump, but by firing this woman, you added to the unemployment rate. But that, along with his reaction to what I said on Lara Trump, shows how authoritarians will attempt to bully people into pushing false narratives. President Trump, do you realize the best way to get the headlines you want is to simply do a good job? Is to simply do right by all Americans? He called me a racist. I didn't mention race not one time on Lara Trump. I didn't bring up the fact that President Trump issued an executive order directing oversight of institutions like the Smithsonian to remove or suppress narratives about systemic racism in Black history. They want to reframe cultural memory to eliminate discussions of historical racial injustice. That, along with determination of diversity and civil rights programs, are considered very racist by a lot of civil rights advocates. I didn't even bring that up. Okay, I was just talking to your base, letting your base know that you haven't kept the promises you made in regards to the economy. In fact, you've made things worse. It's actually hilarious to see you upset about the high unemployment rates when you let Elon Musk take a chainsaw to the federal government and fire a bunch of government workers earlier this year. You did that, President Trump, and now you're doing exactly what the Biden administration did, trying to convince America the economy is all good when it's not. Maybe for people in a certain tax bracket, but for majority of your constituents who aren't in the 1%, it's not all good. So you can hire a new labor statistics chief to lie about the numbers. It won't stop the reality of people being unemployed. Okay, you can tell falsehoods about inflation being down. It won't stop the reality of the price of consumer goods being high because of tariffs you implemented. So listen, President Trump, don't worry about Leonard, okay? Don't worry about Charlamagne the God. I know something I said hit a nerve and rattled you a little bit, but I don't want you rattled. I want you to end wars. Okay, I want you to keep the border secure. I want you to have the economy booming. I want booming. Okay, I want all these things to be true. I am an American. I don't care who's in the White House. I want America to succeed. Okay, believe it or not, I'm rooting for you. But I need you focused. And right now, you're not focused. Okay, we need you focused on two things: the economy and Epstein. All right, I need you to keep the promises of a great economy and the promises of transparency with the Epstein files. And I don't want us as a people to be distracted. Whenever you see Trump trying to deflect from what's important, keep him focused. Ask two simple questions. What about the economy? What about the Epstein files? Go in his mentions, have pity parties all the time, and ask him those two things. Happy born day to President Barack Obama, and thank you for your attention to this matter. Please let Kathy Griffin give President Donald J. Trump the biggest hee-haw.
Please give this giant jar of mail the biggest hee-haw.
That's with a racism. We said biggest male.
No.
Yeah. Black people can't be racist.
Exactly. And I hate niggas too. So what's up?
Oh, my God.
What?
All right. Well, let's open up the phone lines. See what the people have to say. 800-585-1051. What are your thoughts? You've heard Trump's response to Charlamagne on Large Trump Show.
It's not about me. Let's keep people focused.
You also heard what Charlamagne had to say this morning. We just want to open up the phone lines and hear what you have to say.
No,
you're right. Let's keep them focused. Do you think we should be finding another job right now? Call up if you think you have anything to contribute. If you're looking for a comedian, a DJ, somebody who can read, please let us know.
This is not about me. This is about the job President Donald J. Trump is doing. Let's open the phone lines and ask the people about that.
800.
Let's ask them the question Larry Trump asked me. What do you think about what Donald J. Trump's second term so far?
Definitely asked you. She definitely asked you.
You need a DJ on when you
I
do
do.
comedy?
I think I am.
I got you. Jigga. You need somebody to do your hair?
I can't afford you.
800-585-1051. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.